Hi there, welcome to what I presume is the next video with the way everything's panning out. So we're about 4 miles or so into our day. We left pretty late today, so we obviously did our 0 in Great Barrington yesterday and then made full use of the 11 o'clock checkout time by basically staying in bed watching SpongeBob until 11 in the morning. Basically just, woke up early like I always do anyway now, and just, got my bag packed in a more relaxed fashion, and then we just chilled in the morning until it was time to go. But yeah, it was nice. I've sent home some more gear with Korik's parents, and they obviously came up to see us. So I've got rid of my stove and cook pot. I'm not going to go full, I'm not going to start cold soaking noodles and stuff, but I'm just going to try eating, eating things out of a packet. So I've got a meal idea of getting those tuna and pasta or tuna and bean packets, and crumbling up some cheese crackers in there with some jerky and sausage, and that all combined should take me no time to prepare, and also will be the same number of calories as the ramen and everything I was eating. So just a bit more. The last thing I want to do now is just start cooking when I get to camp. It's just a pain. Especially with the weather, I don't want to be eating hot food. So yeah, I'll see how I get on with that. What else did I send back? I got a new quilt. So I sent back my 20-degree sleeping bag because it was just too warm. So I just got a cheap quilt, down quilt off Amazon for $40. I wasn't about to spend money on a fancy expensive one for just the sake of a month and a half that we're likely to be on trail. So yeah, I just got a cheap one. It's a lot smaller and lighter than my big sleeping bag, so save some space as well there. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, later start today. Not entirely sure how far we're going to get. We've got a few different options, so we'll it's not going to be a big day, but we'll see where we get to. All right, interesting development. I haven't filmed anything really until now because we've just been in the green tunnel and nothing really has happened, but we have stumbled upon so way back in Georgia, was it Georgia? No, North Carolina, Tennessee, somewhere, there was someone called the Cookie Lady, and it was a little remote trail magic station off this woman's porch where she had fresh baked cookies and stuff. And then there's a place now in Massachusetts called the Cookie Lady 2.0, and same kind of deal. She has cookies on her porch, and we'll give you some free hibiscus tea and stuff, which is really nice, and water, electricity to charge your gadgets, all that stuff. But she also has a blueberry farm, so if you pick a full bucket for her, she will cook you dinner. And the old farm used to have an what's it called, a airfield. So back there's a aircraft hangar. There's no aircraft in there now, it's farm equipment, but they've got beds in there, and they've, on the donation basis, you can stay in there as well. So we're gonna do some fruit picking. Yeah, look.
I'm hard at work. Got some berries.
So yeah, we're gonna do some fruit picking in order to get ourselves a free dinner and a bed for the night. It's just an interesting experience. I don't think we could really pass up. It was that sounds like a thing I'll never get the chance to do again. So yeah, that should be fun. Hi everyone, we're about 2.5 miles into our day. So we left the Cookie Lady / Blueberry Farm this morning about 5:30. Had a very good night's sleep in the hangar on an actual bed, which was nice. And we got started this morning and everything's it's still incredibly humid, but it is at least a bit cooler from all the rain and everything last night. But yeah, we're doing about 18 miles today to the town of Cheshire, Massachusetts, where they have a pavilion that hikers can camp at. And obviously it's in town, so we might be able to get some food or something as well. But just got to get through. I'll try and make up as many miles in the morning as we can before the heat comes in later today. It's still obviously very humid, but the end of Massachusetts is now in sight. I think tomorrow we'll get over Mount Greylock, and then we'll be in Vermont, I think, on Tuesday. So that'll be the third from last state. So that'll definitely feel like we're on the sort of the home stretch at that point. So anyway, I'm gonna get going. Hopefully I'll have some things to film today, because so far it's just been like green tunnel stuff. So if there's anything to show you, I'll bring you along. Alright, little update. We're about 5 or so miles out of Dalton, Massachusetts, and about 3 from Cheshire, Cheshire, Massachusetts, as they say. But we spent quite a while actually in Dalton. We got some really good burritos. And we went to the community centre to take a shower because it was free, even though, I mean, as if you can tell, like, I'm just glistening with sweat, like it's already been made redundant. But you know, I got to clean some of the sweat off and the salt, rinse my shirt off somewhere and dry it. We hung out at the pavilion for a little bit just to charge our phones and have a lie down. So yeah, it was a nice couple of hours we spent just relaxing. It's kind of the advantage, I suppose, of starting so early. And we started around 5:30 and basically did 10 miles before like 10:30 in the morning. So we can afford then to take time to relax and enjoy ourselves and not kill ourselves on trail trying to push miles before it gets dark. So, you know, get up early, spend time in town, and we'll be done with an 18-mile day probably before 5 p.m, which is really good. So yeah, just keep going, and I'll show you where we end up camping for the night. Hi everyone, just starting our day, we've only really got one thing to do today, which is get up and over Mount Greylock. So it's about 8 miles to the summit, and it's about 3-something thousand feet of elevation, basically that whole way. So obviously we've got a bit of flat now to get to the base, and then to climb up onto a ridge along to the mountain, climb up, and then hopefully should be at the top around like midday or so, and then head down the other side. So I think we're probably only going to do about 14-15 miles today, and we're hoping that we'll be able to stay at a trail angel's house that we've heard about, who lives on the other side of the mountain, who lets hikers stay, and it's just very accommodating and stuff. So we'll see if we can get a spot there. If not, there's some tent sites on the other side. So yeah, anyway, wish us luck, and we'll it's the first like big climb we've done for a while. We're sort of getting out of that mid-Atlantic area now. Obviously we're in New England, the mountains are about to start getting bigger, so this is kind of like a little bit of a warm-up. So yeah, alright, we'll see you up there. Alright, this bit's pretty cool. So we've just come up the first bit of the climb, and we basically need to go down here. I think the trail goes along the side of that ridge up to the top. It's kind of like the steepest bit. Goes along this ridge and then curves around. But if you can just about see in the gap there, you can see the monument at the top of the mountain. So that's pretty cool. We can see where we're going. We've just got to get, up onto there and along and around. So cool. Oh, I'm only a little bit out of breath. We'll get there. Good morning. You can just see in the background there, I think that one is Mount Williams and Mount Greylock is behind it. We came over yesterday, and we're now just crossing this river, soon to be in Vermont, and soon to cross the 1600 mile mark, both of which are very exciting. So we stayed last night with a trail angel called Renee, whose house is just off the trail. So the trail goes through the suburbs of this town, North Adams, and she lets people stay in her yard for free. And she cooked us dinner, she took us to the grocery store. So yeah, lovely stay with her, really nice. And yeah, we'll be entering Vermont soon, which we've been reassured by some people ahead of us is living up to its name at the moment. So, all right, let's get going. And there we go. Just come out of town, and just hit mile 1600. So less than 600 miles to go now, which is, I think, mile 600 going north was around just before Woods Hole Hostel, and that doesn't seem that long ago compared to, you know, how long it felt like it took us to get there. So that's pretty cool. Less than 600 to go. Oh, sorry. We made it to Vermont. Wow.
Look how hazy yours.
Oh yeah, my camera lens is full, but we did it.
We sure did.
Can you believe it? We've got 3 states left: Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. You know what I was thinking about going when we were coming up, though? I mentioned it the other day. I've still got my bee bonnet on. So we hiked from Georgia, which has its south coast on the Gulf of Mexico, and now we're in Vermont, which has a border with Canada. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. So what's this? Oh, the long trail. So the long trail is another long distance trail, very imaginatively named, but it basically follows. It basically goes up to Canada and follows the AT for about 100 miles. So for 100 miles or so, the AT and the long trail are basically the same thing. Before we turn off to the right.
105 miles.
Oh yeah, 105. Yeah.
I'm so proud of us.
Yeah, I'm proud of us too. This does feel like the home stretch now, like Vermont, New Hampshire, and then Maine, and then we're done. I'm proud of you.
Well, we'll just keep going. Keep walking to Canada.
Going. Yeah. If anyone lives in, what's above there, Newfoundland, and has somewhere for us to stay, let us know. We'll walk up there. All right. Let's see what Vermont has to offer.
Let's do this.
I was going to say it's all Vermud in front of the sign. So, that's
Look
fun.
at the chipmunk.
Huh?
The chipmunk.
Where? Oh, yeah.
You missed it. It was in the mud.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, we've had a slight change of plan. We were going to do like 11 or 14 miles or something to a shelter, but our friend Cutie, who is ahead of us, he messages and says he's staying in Bennington tonight. So do we want to split the room? So we're going to push and do 18 miles total to get to a road crossing. So we might get there a little later in the evening, but it does mean we'll have a real bed and we can shower, because I am soaking wet. Mostly from sweat, but also it did rain earlier, and I've got my pack cover on, but it's just too warm to put a raincoat. I'll just sweat through it, so I'll just let myself get rained on. But yeah, real bed and shower tonight. Can't wait.
Let's do this, Vermont.
Let's get Ben and Jerry's while we're in Vermont.
Oh, okay.
Change of plans. We're hiking to Ben and Jerry's. We're going to do that instead.
Burlington.
In Burlington. It's fine. I'm sure there's a Blue Blaze going 300 miles off trail. It'd be fine.
All right.
Let's go. quick update of what's going on. So mistakes were made, and right, essentially, so to get into Bennington, you have to walk to a road. What's it called? Vermont Route 9, which is the big road that crosses the trail and goes into town. So the way you're supposed to get there is you go down. You obviously just keep going along the trail, and you follow an incredibly steep path right at the end that goes down over like tons of like mossy rocks, and all the comments in Far Out said it's like horrendous and treacherous, and especially in when it's wet, like all the rocks are covered in moss, and like loads of people had reported falling. And just because it was raining earlier today and then forecast to continue raining while we were still on trail, and the state that my knees are in, which the braces have helped a bit, but just when going down steeper up hills I can still feel them like twinge, and I really didn't want to end up as a casualty on this climb down. So we bailed out to this gravel road, which, you know, not bypasses, but like goes alongside about 2 miles of the trail. Oh, can you even see anything? It's just all sun. Hey. Let me swap hands. That's better. You're not being blinded by the sun now. Right, so yeah, so we're basically along this gravel track which goes sort of alongside and downhill alongside this brook for most of the way, without going up on, you know, sort of basically comes down at an easier gradient than the trail. So we'll still end up basically at the same road, probably do a bit more miles to be honest, but just spared my knees. But the first part of it is not this lovely gravel road that you see. It's more like an ATV track. So it was just completely flooded, and in fact the brook that it goes alongside, it actually goes in at some point. So we've basically had to do about 20 yards of river walking. So we had to basically walk up to our shins in the water, because we'd kind of already committed to going that way, so it didn't make sense to then turn back and you know, so that was fun.
All right, we're here. Let us never speak of the shortcut again. Anyway,
We're almost at the road, and then we can either hitch or get picked up by the hotel, whichever's quicker, and then enjoy our bed for the night.